We're so fortunate today to have Jennifer Bryan and Alba Clark here with us today to present a part of the book that they wrote. Well, Jennifer wrote the book and Alba last year translated it, so I present them to you.
It really is a treat to be here. I thought that what we would do is I would talk just a little bit about why I wrote the book, and then Alba could talk about why she translated the book, and then we would read a little bit. I'll read the English and Alba can read the Spanish. How's that sound? Good. All right, good. So I wrote this book back in maybe 2004. And I wrote it because at the time I had 2 young kids, and my partner and I were looking for books that showed a 2-mom family, but didn't kind of make the book about a 2-mom family. I wanted just a really good bedtime story that I could read my kids that wasn't kind of heavy-handed, like, oh, here's a 2-mom family. So I wrote this book about bedtime stories, which my kids, we loved reading bedtime stories, and we loved telling bedtime stories. So I wrote this book called The Different Dragon. And Dana Marie Hostler created the most beautiful illustrations. If you've never seen the book, this is actually a copy that's in your library, so you can go check it out later. So I wrote the words, and Dana created the illustrations to bring it to life, and it was published in 2006. And what's amazing is that it continues to sell, not in a big way, but I think it does because it's a great bedtime story, and it just reflects another kind of family. So last year, when I heard that Alba wanted to translate the book, I was thrilled. And so maybe you could just say a little bit about why you wanted to do that.
So I'm bilingual, and so Doris and I were trying to find something I could do to kind of expand my knowledge of Spanish and English. And so I really wanted to translate something, and so she knew Miss Bryan, and so I got to translate it. And I think it was a wonderful experience because it was super interesting to try to transfer this beautiful tone that this story has into Spanish, Spanish is very poetic and it's beautiful, and I think it translates beautifully. And I think the story is one that's great and really important to share with the future, and so I loved it. It was really fun.
Great. And it means that because it's in another language now, all kinds of other people can read it. And I think it made me appreciate the power of translation, because I couldn't have written the Spanish version, and Alba, with the help of her teachers, could. And so, now we have this book that literally could be read around the world, which is really cool. So I think what we're going to do is just read a little bit of it to you, and then maybe take some questions. All right. So, The Different Dragon. Noah was a not-so-little boy who was getting ready for bed. He had taken a bath. He had chosen a favorite pair of pajamas and put them on all by himself.
No era un niño, no tan pequeño, que estaba preparándose para la cama. Se había bañado, había elegido su pijama favorito y se lo había puesto él solito.
He had brushed his teeth and only needed a little bit of help from one of his mothers with flossing.
Se había cepillado los dientes y solo necesitaba ayuda de una de sus mamás con el hilo dental.
Then he built and toppled some block towers with his younger sister Claire on her bedroom floor, chased the cat Zoe out of the hall closet, lined up all of his toy trucks by the stairs, wrestled with his mama and Claire in his parents' room, and then finally crashed the neat row of trucks into a big, messy pile. It was a loud crash.
Después construyó y derribó unas torres de bloques con su hermana pequeña, Clara, en el suelo de su cuarto. Persiguió al gato Zoe y salió del armario del pasillo. Puso en línea todos sus camiones, jugando con su mamá y Clara, en el cuarto de sus mamás, hasta chocar con sus camiones ordenados en línea en un montón desordenado de juguetes. Fue un choque muy ruidoso.
I think you are ready for bed, said Goma. I think you are right, said Noah with a big grin.
A la cama, Noel, dijo mamá. Sí, es hora, dijo Noé, con una sonrisa gigante.
So then, Noah and his Goma huddle up in the big boy bed together to decide about telling a story. And Goma asks Noah who should be in it, and he decides he should be in it. And then his cat, Diva, should go with them on this adventure. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Noah who went sailing on the ocean in his royal blue and snappy orange boat.
Érase una vez un niño llamado Noah que fue navegando por el océano en su barco de color azul marino y naranja chispeante.
And so Noah wants to know, is it a sailboat? Is it an ocean liner? Is there a moon? Yes, answered Goma. He sailed along a moonlit sky that was full of stars. And even though the boy was good at counting, there were so many stars in this night sky that he couldn't possibly count them all. The boat was sturdy and the water was dark and cool.
Sí, respondió Goma. Él fue navegando debajo del cielo iluminado por luna y estrella, la luna y estrellas. Y aunque el niño podía contar muy bien, había tantas en el cielo de noche que nunca las podía contar todas. Era un barco robusto y el agua estaba oscura y fresca.
Now this is an important moment in the book where he wants to know if there's music. And his cat, Diva, sings. And so I asked Alba if she'd be okay with reading this page, and she said yes. Is there music? Wondered Noah. Indeed, Noah's favorite cat, Diva, always sailed on the royal blue and snappy orange boat with him. And on this night, she sang a fancy feline tune, opera style. I love a grand feast of big fishes from the sea. I love a wicked prowl, chasing mice and lots of fowl. But what I love most is to nap, 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 nap in the sun. Take it away, Alba.
¿Hay música? Él preguntó. Claro. Y el gato favorito de Noé, Diva, siempre navegó con él en el barco de color azul marino y naranja chispeante con él. Esta noche cantaba una canción elegante y felina, de estilo ópera. Me encanta un festín grandioso de peces grandes del mar. Me encanta un merodeo malvado persiguiendo ratones y mucha fauna. Pero lo mejor es de todo es tomar una siesta en el sol.
I love it. Siesta, siesta, siesta. So anyway, Noah and Diva go on quite an adventure, and then they get hungry. They need a snack. And so they decide to go to Dragon Cove and get some chocolate yogurt for Noah and some goldfish for Diva. And Goma is describing, that there's these rolling hills and there's cricket convention, all this stuff. And then Noah interrupts her and says, Goma, is there going to be a mean dragon? A mean dragon? With fire in his nostrils and a long spittly red tongue and lots of chomping teeth? That kind? Noah nodded his head in a serious way. Very well, said Goma.
Mamá, va a haber un dragón malo, interrumpió Noé. Un dragón malo, con fuego saliendo por su nariz y una larga lengua rojo y llena de saliva, con dientes grandes para mordiscos grandes. Ese tipo, Noé asistió con la cabeza, de una manera muy grave. Muy bien, dijo mamá.
So there's an interesting turn of events. There's this big, fierce, snarling dragon who's coming down to the boat. And it looks like he's pretty much just gonna eat up Noah. But Noah tells Goma that the dragon actually starts to cry. Cry? Asked Goma. Yes, says Noah, because he's very upset. Why is he upset? Asked Goma. You tell, says Noah.
¿Llorar? Preguntó Goma. Sí, porque está muy disgustado. ¿Y por qué está disgustado? No sé, te toca a ti contarlo, dijo Noé.
So it turns out that the dragon is stressed out. And Noah says, what's the matter? Because the dragon, I can't do it anymore. And so he's, there's no more fire coming out of his nose. He's kind of got a runny nose. He's drooling. He's a mess. And Noah asks, what's no use? Just can't be fierce anymore, the dragon said. I just can't. And Noah asks, why not? So let's wait, and I'll do this one. And then this one. Well, it's a lot of pressure to be fierce all the time. All that roaring and gnashing of teeth and snorting fire. It's a lot of work to scare people and be so mean. And nobody ever wants a dragon to just be funny or sad or regular. There's only one way for a dragon to be, and that's that.
Es mucha presión ser feroz todo el tiempo. Rugir y molar los dientes y bufar fuego todo el día. Es mucho trabajo asustar a la gente y ser tan malo. Nadie quiere un dragón que sea gracioso, ni triste, ni simplemente un dragón regular. Solo hay una manera de ser un dragón, y así es.
So Noah gives him some advice. Basically says, listen, I'm a smart boy and I know a couple of things. And I know that there are a lot of different ways to be a dragon. And being fierce isn't the only way you have to be. You could be however you want. So if you want to crush my sailboat, set it on fire, and eat me up, you can. Or we could play badminton and then have some ice cream instead. And then, so what did you do here? Noah did indeed sound very wise.
Y claro, al dragón Noé le pareció ser muy sabio. El dragón escuchó muy cuidadosamente y pensó sobre lo que había dicho Noé. Después Noé añadió, yo tengo muchos amigos que piensan lo mismo. Les gustan los dragones diferentes.
So basically he says, hey, I got a lot of friends who would like a dragon who was different too. And so with that, the dragon lifted his big head. He looked extremely relieved, even happy, and he dragged a scaly claw back across his runny nose and he said, can you teach me how to play badminton? And Noah said, sure, let me get the equipment. So the very smart, not so little boy went below deck and retrieved 2 badminton rackets and a birdie. And under the full moon,
Y debajo de la luna llena, enseñó al dragón cómo jugar y jugaron por mucho tiempo, hasta que era hora de desayunar.
so they played a long time until it was time for breakfast. And what did they have for breakfast? Noah asked with a big yawn.
Y eso, dijo mamá, es otro cuento.
And now that, said Goma, is a different story.